Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming today. This is, for those of you who don't know us, we're a copper exploration company looking for some of the world's largest copper mines in southern Peru. I've been doing this for 25 years, and 10 of those years have been pursuing the Sombrero Copper Exploration Project, which is an analogous project to the 11th largest producing copper mine in the world. I was here last year. There's some changes this year. I'll talk about those today, but the most exciting thing is I think we're on the edge of our first major discovery holes in that project. And that being said, here's some cautionary notes I encourage you to read and go to our website. I most certainly will be making some forward-looking optimistic comments about it. So nothing's changed in the bigger picture of things from what we're doing. We're going after a big one. We're exploring. But what we have done in the last 12 months, we've been able to maintain a perfect safety, fostered our community relationships and environmental reputation within the community at all times. That's going to give us access to a lot more targets as we continue to explore this project, and this project is significant, so that's very, very important. The last year, not only did we raise money, solve our community access agreements, bring tech in as a 9.9 investor, we attracted some executives from the largest mining company in the world, and now we're ready to get on to 2025. But what we did is not what's going to make you all money as investors. It's that last line at the bottom. It's drilling. It's what we're doing right now as I stand here. We had some success, if you all remember, with our fourth hole. We drilled 19 meters of 0.5% copper. In skarn systems, they're all about temperature and geometry. And we're starting to see in hole 14, which is being drilled as I stand here, that we might be getting the geometry right and we might be onto a very significant discovery. Our management team has done this before. We've had some great successes. We're on budget and we're ahead of schedule with our drilling. So we're doing a tremendous job here by keeping our company very disciplined spending. We've been quiet for a few months, but this is the time where we start to come out and tell people what we're up to. The most underrated people in our presentation right now is our geologists. Tim Kingsley and Christian Rios are both here with me at the conference. They're accompanied by Antonio Ribas and Keenan Jennings. They're the most underrated people until that first big discovery hole comes out, and then you'll see what we're raving about internally that's not in the current share price of the company. Quick memory lane of where this all is and what it's about. It's a major copper belt, one of the most prolific ones in the world, where Las Bambas and several other major mines occur. On the western side, the Sombrero project, it sits in volcanic cover, a thin blindfold covering a lot of the rocks. The second thing that it faces a challenge was social access. We were able to overcome the social access, and now we're working towards removing that blindfold and seeing if we can make a Las Bambas scale discovery. This image here is anyone in this room could easily go out and put drills and start drilling this. This is our NEOC target. We're not drilling here yet, but we're making permitting advancements. We'll be able to get to that later this year. This project, much like Filo, as well as AMARC's recent discovery, it was first explored in 2001. This is a 25-year effort that's finally coming to fruition, and after 14 holes, we finally believe we're on the edge of our first major discovery. The image on the left is the geology. You can see in green a lot of that volcanic cover, some windows of erosion where we can see all the same rocks as all the major mines that you see on the right. They were formed at the same time. It's the same type of mineralization. The analogs have not changed. They are there, and we're confirming it with the drill bit. This map here on the left is us, again, re-emphasizing the volcanic cover. It takes a little bit of patience. That's why we're getting towards 14, where we're finally starting to get a handle on geometry. But on the right, you can see the clusters are of similar scale to Las Bambas with a lot less volcanic cover that Las Bambas has. To look through that cover and explore with a blindfold, we use electrical currents and magnetic currents to reflect and conduct off the rocks. We've done our best to guess where we should drill. The first ways we went around this horseshoe shape and tested, but what's missing from these slides is the impression of the scale. These are 1 to 2 kilometer long targets, and you're trying to find something 100 meters wide and figure out its geometry on the first pass. What the team has done is they figured out several different features of where we are in the temperature parts of the system, and now they're starting to see where the proper geometry could exist. I've circled 2 targets here. These are the most prolific outcropping areas of the system. NEOC is the photo I showed you a few slides ago, and Furasso is where there was 8 historic drill holes that all hit economic mineralization. We cannot drill here yet. We'll be able to drill here later this year, but we're starting to have a lot more success somewhere else. In those holes, this is important to take note because you've seen our 19.5 meters of 0.5% copper. That intercept would fit perfectly on this page in terms of grade, proximity to surface, but it needs more width. If we figure out the geometry, we can expand that width considerably, and be replicating another big discovery in this main Sombrero system. There's a lot of grade all over the surface. We have not killed any targets. We have not taken anything away from this project by what we've drilled so far. We've also not found the source of all this grade, but we're starting to learn about the geometry. And those of you who know skarn exploration, once you have the geometry, that grade can continue extensively in the drill bit as well. Our thesis was to go around the horseshoe shape that you see here in this image and test all the best, what we thought were best targets, most of that through volcanic cover. And we're coming back to hole 4, Ojota. If you can look on the image where that yellow box is pointing to hole 4, to the east of it is hole 13. That hole drilled beside it and it missed. But we're now drilling from the other side, hole 14, and that's where we're starting to see a significant width of potential mineralization. And this is incredible because when you find these things in this part of Peru, they go on for kilometers or miles and they widen quite significantly. We're seeing a lot of increased mineralization compared to what we saw in that 19 meters of 0.5% copper. I don't know what the grade is, but this is the most exciting hole of this project, not just based on the scale, but based on everything we've learned so far today, and we won't have results for that for the next 6 weeks. The infrastructure is a blessing. We're drilling underneath mine power. There's power lines, roads, water, everything you could dream of. So whatever we find stands to be extremely profitable. The communities, we've now had a chance to give them jobs. This is critical. We did a great job bringing agricultural programs. We're getting more programs approved for neighboring communities, which is going to give us access to some of those really robust outcropping exploration targets. Here's a map showing the communities we do have access to, noting that blue polygon where it says Cascabamba, that's where we're drilling. That area specifically is going to approximately triple in size and go from 49 holes that we can drill from 38 pads to over 200 holes that we can drill from a plethora of pads. So we're going to get full range here in a minute with our permits, well, not in a minute, in about 6 to 8 months from this time now, and we're going to be able to really expand our program, add more drills, multiple drills, and go and take a discovery and expand it quickly into a rising copper market. First comment I want to make about our cap structure is thank you to all the shareholders who've been patient. We financed ourselves at 50 cents a share when copper was $5 a pound. You all saw it go to $3.93 a pound about a month ago. Copper is starting to improve, and we just happen to be figuring out the geometry of one of our first discoveries potentially in our major exploration project. So a couple key takeaways. Big targets can miss big and they can hit big. The big thing that you don't see in the share price, that you don't see up here right now, is the vectoring that our technical team is doing. We got some of the best people in the world working on this project, and they've been vectorating at an incredible pace, which makes it very exciting that that real big discovery we've talked about could actually come to fruition. Myself and Keenan Jennings, the head of our technical committee, he's also the former head of exploration for BHP. We have bought 800,000 shares in the last few weeks prior to drilling hole 14. This is just a testament to our confidence. If I think you guys should consider it as an investment opportunity, we're certainly going to be buying it here alongside you guys. But the geology is leading that choice that we're doing. We are actively drilling, and in the event that we do get success being strategic, we would look to consolidate some other advanced copper exploration plays that are not financed or properly financed. There's a few things out there that are dramatically undervalued, and if we can bolster our portfolio considerably before we go and enter this big copper market, we could become a leading advanced copper explorer in the world, and that's our goal. One last slide here, just on myself and our team and our reputation. One of our biggest skill sets is monetizing exploration. These two companies found some great resources, but the magnitude of what Sombrero could be is tremendously larger, and the timing is tremendously better. I just want to remind you that when we start getting into that discovery, this is the kind of horsepower we're going to put behind the share price and be able to form in this rising copper market. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Look forward to our drill results. Appreciate you. Thank you.